What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. And before we get started, if y'all don't mind, like this video, comment on this video, share this video, as a little bit of help goes a long way. Um, as well as hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. Again, a little bit of help goes a long way, and I can't say thank y'all enough. But let's get started, why don't we? Because this is some interesting news. Leonard Ellerbe, the renowned infamous CEO or former CEO of Mayweather Promotions now, stepped down. And step down in the corporate world, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't know, that means fat. Amongst us common folk, step down or they usually say part ways. That means you were fired. Severance packages. I've been in the corporate world a mighty long time. So they just speak a different language, or they just word things differently, I should say that. But at the end of the day, Leonard Ellerbe has been terminated from his position as the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. And I say terminated because I'm choosing my words very carefully here. Um, I say terminated, man, because I think this was essentially inevitable. Um, Now, if you've been rocking with me since day one, since I had the Statsmith moniker, I think on the Statsmith channel, man, I was really singing not Leonard, excuse me, Floyd Mayweather's praises. And when I first got into the sports journalist world, Floyd was one of my, favorite figures coming into the game. I wasn't super familiar with his body of work as far as, I wasn't super familiar with his behind the scenes activity. But as a fan of boxing, of course, it's nothing. It's not much you can hate about Floyd. He talks a big game, backs it up with an even bigger game. His in Actually, his him being in the ring is like watching a painter paint. You know what I mean? It's just fascinating to see Floyd work and in his element. But as much as Floyd is loved in the ring, he is despised behind the scenes by multiple figures, multiple people. And like I said, when I first started my channel, I was ignorant to these things. I was very naive uh, to the behind the scenes politics of boxing. But as time has gone on, these past 2 years, I've made a 180 as far as my opinion of Floyd Mayweather. And let me tell you why. Floyd is the best and the worst thing that happened in boxing. Floyd has really, in the middle, in the midst of his career, going from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, he took full control of his career, per se. He was able to do what he wanted, how he wanted, whatever he wanted, and nobody questioned Floyd. During the Money Mayweather era, it was undeniable. Everybody talks about Caitlin Clark now and all that stuff, man. It was undeniable that Floyd Mayweather was changing economic systems. If he had a fight in Vegas, everybody in Vegas ate. So it was nothing to despise about Floyd in that department. He was literally a cash cow, and even beyond that, um, I supported Floyd. Just as a matter, just because the man was undefeated. Every time Floyd would win a big match, it felt like, we won a big match. I won a big match because the big homie was doing his thing and talking a big game, like I said, and backing it up. Uh, Best thing to happen in boxing in that regard, taking control of his career, getting away from Bob Arum, although, he went over to probably the second worst promoter, I think. Not even gonna say worst, but Al Heyman. I'm not a huge fan of Al Heyman. But nonetheless, when Floyd got over there to PBC, he was able to take a lot more control of his career and make a lot more money, respectfully. But when I say he's the worst thing that happened for boxing, is ever since Floyd has retired, it just seems like he's been on a campaign to deter, these younger boxers. I'm not sure if it's an attempt to uh, maintain his status. He doesn't want a Canelo Alvarez or Errol Spence or a Bud Crawford surpassing him in the public opinion as far as greater boxers goes. And I think that Floyd has hung his hat on that. He has gone out of his way to sabotage some younger fighters. Now, as I said, from the jump, when I first got into this thing, I was ignorant to what was going on behind the scenes. But as I've done my research, ladies and gentlemen, seeing how Floyd did Devin Haney is what made me a Devin Haney supporter. I'm not gonna say I'm a Devin Haney fan as much as I would say I'm a Devin Haney supporter, because I like Devin Haney. I just think that I'm an Errol Spence guy. That's my guy. As far as right now, that's who I get up for when it's time for Errol to fight. I'm active. So in the same breath, when Devin Haney is about to fight, I'm indifferent. I like Devin, but the one reason, the sole reason that I started supporting Devin Haney is because as I did my research, I just began to see some hater-like traits in Floyd, seeing how he, in the beginning, was really training Devin, and it was really a big influence in Devin Haney's life. I think Devin Haney was even on record with saying, Floyd Mayweather is my mentor. I want to be just like Floyd. But apparently, and I never understood why, Floyd had beef with Bill Haney. And at that point, because of their beef with Bill Haney, Floyd has been on a saboteur mission of Devin Haney's career. I'm not sure if it's because he understands that Devin Haney is, in public opinion, the biggest, to real boxing fans, I should say, Devin Haney is the number one threat to his legacy, all things considered. Um, or if Bill, if Floyd just literally had a disdain for Bill enough to sabotage whatever Devin Haney got going on. Um, I don't understand it. I just don't understand what Floyd's, uh, uh, why he's so hung up on this disdain for Bill Haney, to the point that he's been trying to sabotage Devin Haney, but it ain't just been Devin. It's been coming out a little bit by bit that Floyd was mentoring Ryan Garcia before the Devin Haney fight. Floyd is the one that told Ryan Garcia to miss weight. Floyd was actually the one that told Ryan Garcia not to even take the fight in the beginning. I remember that. I believe I reported on that. But at the same time, when I'm looking at how Floyd is moving now, it's just nasty work. And it's no situation, I haven't even said this young man's name yet. We got this far in the video. Excuse me, there's no situation that has displayed Floyd's hater-like attributes more than his relationship with Tank Davis. Him and Tank Davis have had this on and off relationship as long as I've been reporting in boxing and long before I got in the game. It seems like a toxic relationship, if you will. You know what I mean? Back in growing up in the hood, or growing up in, coming up in high school, we seen this with people that would break up and make up every damn week, it would seem like, every other week. And I feel like Floyd and Tank has had that kind of relationship where they cool, they all in the cameras together talking about they cool, and then 6 months later they at each other's throats, dissing each other, or sending subliminal shots via their social medias. But how Floyd has gone about treating Tank Davis these last, I say, year or two or three, has really shown me how much of a hater he is. And now with Leonard Ellerbe being fired from Mayweather Promotions, it's just another, feather in the cap that Floyd is a certified hater. He's a certified saboteur. Um, he really, he really does not like Tank Davis having his own thoughts and own aspirations for his career. When Floyd was, the one controlling Tank Davis's career, and giving him all these fights with Latinos, it was no problem. Floyd was all singing. Uh, uh, he was singing Young Haney's praises. I mean, excuse me, not Young Haney, Young Tank's praises. And now, that Tank is trying to take a little bit more control of his career, trying to do his own thing. Floyd just can't handle that. He hates that, and it's going as far as getting Leonard Ellerbe to step down, because Leonard Ellerbe, and I'm not trying to seem like I'm some kind of Leonard Ellerbe supporter. When I think of why we haven't gotten the Devin Haney and Tank Davis fight yet, Leonard Ellerbe is Floyd is one, and Leonard Ellerbe is 1A. I've seen Leonard Ellerbe do all kind of spin gollies with the media, trying to make it seem like it was the Haney's fault, or Tank Davis is just so much better than Devin Haney. When it comes down to why we haven't gotten that mega fight yet, ladies and gentlemen, I got Floyd Mayweather number one, and Leonard Ellerbe number 1A. But to his credit, Ellerbe has been trying to squash the beef between Tank and Floyd. I'm gonna be on record. I'm not sure if there's any reports out there substantiating this, but I'm gonna be on record with saying anytime that Floyd and Tank was good, it was because Leonard, was able to uh, play the middleman and get them to see eye to eye, however long it was. It just seems like both Floyd and Tank to a degree are egomaniacs. So it's a matter of time before they start clashing again. But whenever they were good and cordial, I believe that was attributed to Leonard Ellerbe. But now that Leonard has said, and I believe, excuse me, let me retract just a tap. It came down to a situation recently, again, where Floyd put Leonard in a position as far as saying, stop rocking with Tank or you're fired. And that's essentially the options that Floyd gave. Leonard tried to, play diplomat once again, but I think that now we can go on record and say that Floyd and Tank are officially, done with each other. I think there will be no retracting. Maybe after Tank stop fighting, they might be able to mend. But as long as Tank Davis is fighting, I don't think him and Floyd would be cool again. And the Leonard Ellerbe stepping down as the CEO of Mayweather Promotions is the telltale sign of that. Unfortunately, I think Ellerbe was just trying to maintain that relationship with Tank because Tank is not I don't think Tank is a bad dude. I just think Tank was taken advantage of as far as his boxing career, and they did him right. They set him up for fights he could win, and now that popularity that he was able to acquire, over time, fighting those fights, hanging out with Floyd, I think it's gone to his head a bit. And now Tank think he Floyd. He actually does think he's the new Floyd, and that's how he moves. And I think Leonard Ellerbe shares that opinion a little bit with Tank as far as his popularity goes, his boxing skills. I believe Ellerbe sees that Tank has a great potential to, threaten one of the, or at least let's just say be one of the greatest boxers of all time. I think the only thing holding Tank back from that status is his resume, and shout out to my boy Errol Spence. I got a video covering the press conference between Tank and Frank the other day. Actually, that video is uploading right now. But Arrow was coming there to take Davis' resume, and he was just saying everything that I've been saying. Like, bro, you ain't fought nobody. I would love to say that Tank Davis is one of the best fighters ever. But every time I see Tank Davis fight, it's against a guy that I strongly believe can beat him. It's against a guy that if that guy beats Tank Davis, it would be the upset of the century. So it's like Esau Cruz would have beat Tank, that would have been the upset of the century. Rolly would have beat Tank, upset of the century. Ryan Garcia beat Tank, upset of the century. So even more so of an upset with Ryan beating Devin. In my head, I think Ryan had a stronger shot against Devin than he did against Tank, me personally. But, if Ryan was to have beat Tank, again, it would have been the upset of the century. So I love Tank Davis. I'm a Tank Davis fan. But I think the one thing holding him back is his resume, and it's not very impressive when you compare his resume against others, even his number one rival, Devin Haney. There's more notable names, more bigger fights on Devin Haney's resume now. We probably couldn't have said that 3, 4, 5 years ago, but there are more notable names on his resume than there are on Tank's resume now. And I don't think anybody will argue against that other than the Tank stands. The dudes that think Tank braids and tattoos are nice. Y'all some funny money guys, but but at the end of the day, and now that Leonard is officially not working with Floyd Mayweather any longer, he's been replaced by I think a guy named Richard Schaefer. I'm not positively sure who he is, what his body of work is, but I'll be tuning in, doing my research on him. Now that Leonard Ellerbe is officially, just on Tank team, I'm hoping Leonard comes out and exposes Floyd a little bit for his hater-like, characteristics, because Floyd has gotten the benefit of the doubt. Floyd hates behind the scenes, and this is just something that I've learned over my 2 years. Shout out to 78 Sports. Shout out to Artman the Great. My number one and number two as far as boxing. Nah, I ain't gonna say number one and number. My number one and number 1A as far as boxing knowledge goes, especially 78 Sports TV. Make sure y'all swing by Big Bro's channel, get him a sub, check it out. 78 has been really the one that's revealed the real Floyd to me. Floyd is a mark, to quote the big homie. And I'm just disgusted with how Floyd has been moving behind the scenes. But now that, Leonard is not with Floyd any longer, I'm hoping Leonard comes out and it's exposed. He puts it out there for real who Floyd really is, because I believe Floyd has to get out of boxing, man. For us to really move forward in boxing, for boxing to go back to any kind of those glorious days of the 70s, 80s, 90s, even a little bit of I ain't gonna say 2000s. But even a little bit, I guess you can, the Floyd era. It was a good time to be a boxer and be a boxing fan. I think that Floyd needs to just, kind of be extracted from boxing to a point. I think Floyd could be the perfect promoter, for boxing. He could be the perfect statesman for boxing, but Floyd still thinks like a boxer. He still thinks like an active fighter. He still plays the boxing politics, against guys he's not even gonna fight. Usually dudes that play the politics, they on the A side, and they're doing all that they can to get the advantages and the leverages over their opponent. Floyd ain't fighting nobody, you know what I mean? And he's still doing dirty. He's still doing these dudes dirty. And in my opinion, he's strongly campaigning to hold these guys' careers back, so that people can say, well, yeah, Floyd with me is not Floyd, but they can say that Tank was nice, or Devin was nice, or Ryan was nice. But their resumes don't match up to Floyd's. I think that's Floyd's whole mission right now, to make sure these kids' resumes don't look as impressive as his. But all in all, like I say, I'm happy for Leonard. I'm not a fan of Leonard, but I am happy that he is separating himself somewhat from this hater, and we're gonna see what comes from it from there. Again, Tank got a big fight this weekend against Frank. I got a video uploading right now covering the press conference. Got another video where I'm sharing my thoughts on the details of the fight. Might drop that tomorrow. Well, we might drop that tonight. Drop it around midnight, so people can watch that one tomorrow before the fight. But yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all on this one. It is your boy Tony the Savant. Please like this video, share this video, comment on this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm going live and dropping content. I definitely appreciate the love and support. Peace.